I have a question for you. Do you play your best every time that you play? Do you feel like every single time you tee it up, including under pressure, that you can always bring your best game? Or do you go out there and you really don't know what's coming? My guess is you put a lot of work into your game to improve, but you still don't know if you're going to perform your best day in and day out. You probably have some really good rounds and some really poor rounds. This is a pretty common phenomenon, a really big phenomenon in golf. I've experienced it as a player, I've seen it through my coaching career, is players can go out, shoot a really good score one day, and the next day it can be completely opposite. Here's the truth, like your swing just does not change from day to day. It just does not. Like it takes a long time for motion to change. But what we must understand is everything begins in our mind. Your mind is responsible for literally everything we do, how we think, how we move. So how much of the time are you actually putting into understanding how your mind affects your performance in your game? You see, there's this one thing that really is the difference between day in and day out. There's one thing that inhibits performance, and it can make the best of players crumble, especially under pressure, and that is stress. So stress is a function of seeing things in a fearful light. It triggers our fight or flight response. So the interesting thing is our brains can't tell the difference between a real and a perceived threat. So if you're seeing something in a threatening manner, it's no different than a 3-foot putt that could make or break your round, or an alligator chasing you down the fairway. There's no difference in our mind. It's triggering the same exact response. It's just the level of response that's happening. The issue is that players are often doing things on the course and are taught to do things that put them into this state. Now, when you get into this state, in this fight or flight response, the brain starts to release cortisol, adrenaline, and other chemicals that actually increase tension and makes our heart rate go up. And really, it's allocating the resources of the brain to get yourself in a mode where it's, I gotta run for my life or I gotta fight my way out of this. So it's taking away our ability to think clearly. It's taking our ability to move freely. So all of these things, if you think about that going on in your body, are going to be an issue when you're trying to play your best. Now, the really fascinating thing is how you think or how you perceive things or how you're using your energy. All of this, if you're going against your natural, can put you into the state without you even knowing it. You see, what's interesting is that we've found through our assessment on a mental golf type is that 94% of players are trying to do things on the course that don't fit their natural hardwiring of their mind. It doesn't fit their mental golf type, which is already going to put you into some form of stress. And then they'll double down on those things. So it might be overthinking about the swing mechanics. It might be getting too far out in the future and they just can't stop thinking about your score. All of these things are facets and actual symptoms of the way you're just thinking about things. You know, are you overthinking about the target? Or are you overthinking about your swing? Are you making decisions with too much data or too little data? You know, all of these things are stressing one player, but also helping a whole nother player. Now imagine for a second if you knew exactly what you needed to do to keep yourself into this optimal state. Imagine you knowing exactly what warning signs are coming when you start to get into this stress and you start to do things that are going to inhibit your performance. You're gonna have the mystery solved from one day to the next. Why am I great one day and calm? Why is the next day I feel totally uncomfortable? I feel like my grip feels weird. My heart's racing. I just don't feel comfortable out there. The total next day could be, if I felt great, I don't know what was different. I hear that all the time. I don't know what was different between day one when I shot really well or day two where I didn't, or flip those. We hear that all the time. I don't know the difference. Well, now you can with mental golf type and understanding the hardwiring in your personality type and how that affects the mode you're in, whether you're in stress or you are not. And the zone is simply playing in the absence of stress, and you're going to know exactly how to do that. by learning how to get rid of all these things and learning how to make those instant shifts when you understand these things and these signs that you do and understanding what is right for you. So go and check that out now. We have all of our programs up. Level 1, learn your mental golf type. It is literally the secret to performing day in and day out.
Expect anything different?